I had a drug problem. My wife had a drug problem. We're not very good parents at all. We were actually awful parents. My children, they seen stuff they didn't need to see. My life was turned upside down. I was almost ready just to end it all. I've been hiding this addiction for probably about 10 years. I'm 31. And I've been hiding it. Trying to stay away from the police, not trying to go to the probation officer. Trying not to get fired. Not paying my bills. Getting our cars repossessed. Lights being cut off at my house. Water being cut off. And man, finally I was like, there's got to be something else. There's got to be something else besides this.
They're powerless. They've tried to get off drugs and alcohol by themselves, but they've never been able to.
They feel like they've been hurt in life and that they were dealt a bad hand in life. So we try to help them to see that God loves them. No matter what's happened in their life, they can be forgiven and they can be loved. Jail is a place where a man can do time, which some of them need to do. They need to pay their debt to society and do some time. I don't disagree at all with that, but there has to be a break in the cycle where a man can learn better ways to make decisions and choices, and that's where rehab comes in.
I really thought we lost you. Rehabilitation means to take an addict back to its former state before he became an addict. But if behaviors and things have not changed, he'll just continue to repeat the same behavior.
What did your home look like when you were...
Our job is not to cure them, is not to heal them. Our job is simply to introduce them to Jesus. So our passion has always been to reach out to those that are really hurting and those that are really bound by drugs and alcohol.
Men and women that struggle with addictions normally have ADD, ADHD, all kinds of situations that go on in their lives. So really a structured, disciplined, multifaceted program is extremely helpful, especially a Christ-centered, a God-centered program where they can grab a hold of something and start trusting God and trusting something in their lives other tthan trusting the drugs.
The law that Jesus gave us to live by is this.
Amen. Hamburgers and hash browns.
We have two guys that are in the kitchen all the time. They don't have anything else. We have different jobs that we do here on our campus.
That side's going to stay as it is.
They have work call for about 3 hours where they might have to paint one of the rooms in the house or mow the yard out front, but they basically take care of the house that they live in.
We're going to take these and plant them around the border of the garden to keep...
Here we have vocational therapy, so we've got a greenhouse. They learn about agriculture. If they do leave our campus here because there are no bars, there are no locks on the doors, they can come and go as they want. But the minute they choose to leave this program, a warrant is immediately issued and they're picked up by the Sheriff's Department.
A lot of them feel like they escaped a situation like jail. But I think once they get here, they realize that they didn't really escape.
The first time we came to Genesis was because our son was into drugs. He was having some problems.
We have something called family recovery here. So when we take a man in, we also take his family in. So we have classes that meet every Sunday for 6 weeks where the family comes in and they can cry and they can yell and they can talk and they can learn and we all can grow together and build a bridge with broken relationships between the addict and their family.
It helped us as parents to understand a lot about what we were feeling. It addressed our feelings as well as not just him.
I know when I walked in family recovery the first time, I wasn't there 5 minutes and the lady that was facilitating asked me, "How do you feel right now?" And it was really the first time that I could verbalize what I'd been feeling. And it was just It was a relief to get it out.
We're able to help the family to understand the addiction that their loved one is going through. The family, when they begin to realize and to understand that codependency is dangerous, and unless they walk away and allow God to work on their loved one will never change. And this is a very difficult process, simply because you love your child so much, or you love your husband so much, or you love your wife so much, that you will do anything for them. So a lot of times you feel, if I just help fix the situation, it'll get better. But it's really not. It's getting worse, because all it's doing is prolonging the addiction.
And then to know, with the other family members that were sitting in there, that I wasn't alone. This was something that was all new to me. And it had caused battles between us, because neither one of us had been through it before. So just going through that, not only the other family members that were in there in recovery, but also to hear the men talking with their families, and the conversation that was going back and forth, and just the truth that was finally coming out. Just, it's a process.
Each man that comes to Genesis was just a breath away from dying. And I believe that on Sunday's a day to recognize all that God has done for them and for their families.
My kids are healthy. My marriage now is better than it's ever been. My children, instead of running around playing with drugs and needles and stuff like that, they're singing church hymns. They're asking me about God. It's been life changer for me. I was headed down a road that was a dead end road, and now it's wide open right now. It's just moving forward, just great things, and I just really appreciate this place.
But they're giving you the tools, so when you get out into the real world, you have one of those down days, those things where you start thinking, maybe I want to do this again, or how can this be? You know where to go. Plus, you also have a system where you know you can call back to Genesis, to one of them, to one of us, and they develop friendships while they're in here. So it's a good thing to know that you have people that are there that love you, that you can depend on, and you have an avenue to go back and strengthen yourself.
You don't have to feel alone anymore. There's people just like yourselves that are struggling with a loved one, and the best thing to do is cry out and get help. Find a support group, find a church, talk to the pastor, talk to someone. Don't keep all that inside you any longer, but start talking, start asking for help.